The warehouse alarm shrieked at 4:17 a.m., but David Kim had been standing among the towering stacks of Phoenix smartphones for 3 hours, staring at the engineering report that would incinerate everything his grandfather had built. His hands trembled as he read the catastrophic conclusion for the 6th time: critical battery defect confirmed across entire Phoenix product line. Lithium cell overheating causes spontaneous combustion. Explosion risk during charging cycles. Immediate destruction of all units required to prevent mass casualties. The words seemed surreal, as David realized that ordering the controlled incineration of 4 million devices would not only cost Teknova Electronics $200 million, but potentially destroy the company that had revolutionized mobile technology for 3 generations. His secure phone vibrated with another urgent message from his chief safety officer, Dr. Sarah Martinez. David, we've confirmed 12 house fires directly linked to Phoenix devices, 3 deaths including children. The battery chemistry is fundamentally unstable. Every device in our warehouses is a potential bomb waiting to detonate in someone's home. What David didn't know was that his trusted VP of Engineering, Marcus Thompson, had been deliberately using substandard battery components for 14 months, while secretly coordinating with Chinese competitors to sabotage American electronics manufacturing. The security cameras throughout the facility were recording every moment of his agonizing decision between protecting his company's survival and preventing a wave of deadly fires that could kill hundreds of innocent families. This was the choice that would transform technology safety standards forever. If this story resonates with you, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and let us know in the comments where you're watching from today. Teknova Electronics headquarters rose from the heart of Silicon Valley like a testament to American technological innovation, its sleek glass towers and curved architecture reflecting the cutting-edge spirit that had made the company synonymous with mobile device excellence for over 40 years. The corporate campus sprawled across 200 acres of premium real estate, housing research laboratories where brilliant engineers pushed the boundaries of smartphone technology while maintaining the quality standards and consumer safety that had distinguished Teknova as America's premier electronics manufacturer. David Kim stood in his corner office on the 40th floor, overlooking manufacturing facilities where the Phoenix smartphone line was being produced around the clock to meet global demand from consumers who trusted Teknova's reputation for innovation and reliability. At 44 years old, David had inherited not just corporate leadership, but also the profound responsibility of maintaining technological excellence while preserving the ethical standards and consumer protection that had guided his family's electronics empire through 4 decades of revolutionary advancement. The Kim family's technology dynasty had begun with David's grandfather, Dr. James Kim, who had immigrated from South Korea in 1982 with advanced degrees in electrical engineering and a vision of creating mobile communication devices that would connect people across cultural and geographic boundaries while maintaining absolute reliability and user safety that became Teknova's founding principles. James's early innovations in cellular technology had established Teknova Electronics during the dawn of mobile communication, when consumer trust in electronic devices required exceptional build quality and safety standards that exceeded industry norms while pioneering technological capabilities that would eventually transform global communication and connectivity. David's father, Dr. Robert Kim, had modernized the company during the smartphone revolution of the 2000s by developing breakthrough touchscreen technology and mobile operating systems while maintaining the family's unwavering commitment to consumer safety and product reliability that had distinguished Teknova from competitors throughout its operational history. Under Robert's leadership, Teknova Electronics had achieved multiple industry firsts, including the longest-lasting smartphone batteries, most durable device construction, and most comprehensive safety testing protocols that had earned recognition from consumer protection agencies and technology organizations worldwide for innovation excellence and user protection. The current Teknova Electronics employed over 75,000 engineers, designers, and manufacturing specialists while generating annual revenues of $38 billion through mobile devices that were distributed to consumers in over 120 countries, who depended on Teknova's commitment to technological advancement and absolute safety. David's educational background included degrees in electrical engineering and computer science from MIT and Stanford, followed by advanced training in consumer electronics safety and international manufacturing that qualified him to lead complex global technology operations while understanding both innovation requirements and safety obligations that guided product development and market strategy. His transition from research engineering to corporate leadership had been motivated by opportunities to impact millions of consumers through technological innovation that enhanced human communication and productivity while maintaining the highest standards of device safety and reliability that protected users from harm and technical failure. The Phoenix product line represented the culmination of Teknova's technological evolution, featuring revolutionary battery technology that provided unprecedented power capacity while incorporating advanced safety systems and thermal management that had been tested extensively to ensure complete protection from overheating and electrical hazards. The devices had required 8 years of development and over $3 billion in research and safety testing before receiving approval from the Federal Communications Commission and international regulatory agencies as breakthrough consumer electronics that could revolutionize mobile computing while meeting strict safety standards for electromagnetic emissions and thermal management. Phoenix's commercial success had exceeded all projections as consumers worldwide embraced smartphones and tablets that offered superior performance and battery life while providing confidence in safety and reliability that allowed users to integrate devices seamlessly into their daily lives and professional activities. The holiday production schedule included manufacturing of over 4 million Phoenix devices that would be distributed through major retailers and carrier networks worldwide, representing Teknova's largest product launch and a critical component of annual revenue that supported continued innovation and technological leadership. Dr. Sarah Martinez served as Teknova's Chief Safety Officer, responsible for overseeing comprehensive testing protocols and quality assurance systems that ensured every device met the highest standards of electrical safety and thermal protection before reaching consumers through retail and carrier distribution networks. Sarah's background included advanced degrees in electrical engineering and materials science from leading universities, followed by extensive experience in federal safety regulation that had earned recognition from consumer protection agencies and international standards organizations for innovative approaches to device safety and consumer protection. Her safety team conducted thousands of tests daily while analyzing device performance, battery chemistry, and thermal behavior to detect potential hazards before products reached retail distribution, maintaining Teknova's perfect safety record that had never resulted in a serious injury or safety incident throughout 4 decades of operation. Marcus Thompson had joined Teknova as Vice President of Engineering 4 years earlier, bringing impressive credentials from major technology companies while promising to reduce manufacturing costs and accelerate product development that would enhance competitiveness in increasingly challenging global electronics markets. Marcus's background included electrical engineering training and executive experience at companies known for rapid scaling and cost optimization, rather than the safety-focused engineering culture and quality-centric development that had historically characterized Teknova's approach to consumer electronics and user protection. But unknown to David or Sarah, Marcus had been systematically compromising device safety protocols and battery specifications to meet aggressive cost reduction targets while sourcing substandard components from overseas manufacturers that created catastrophic fire and explosion risks throughout Teknova's entire product line. His cost reduction initiatives had included substituting inferior battery cells, eliminating safety testing procedures, and suppressing quality control reports that had been implemented specifically to prevent the kind of thermal failures and fire hazards that were now threatening consumer lives throughout Teknova's distribution network. The engineering report that had kept David awake documented systematic battery defects that had already caused multiple house fires, while forensic analysis revealed fundamental chemistry problems that could affect millions of devices currently in consumer homes and retail inventory awaiting distribution. The battery failures included thermal runaway events that caused spontaneous combustion during normal charging cycles, electrical shorts that triggered explosions without warning, and toxic gas emissions that endangered families through smoke inhalation and chemical exposure that required immediate medical intervention. On this particular Wednesday morning in December, David faced the most difficult decision in Teknova's history, as safety evidence demonstrated that immediate inventory destruction was required to prevent mass casualties, while the financial cost would threaten the company's survival and eliminate thousands of jobs that supported families throughout the technology industry. The human stakes were immeasurably higher, as continued device sales could result in hundreds of house fires and potential deaths among families who trusted Teknova's reputation for safety while using devices that were fundamentally defective and dangerous, despite extensive testing and quality assurance that had somehow failed to detect catastrophic safety problems. The security cameras installed throughout Teknova's facilities for intellectual property protection were about to record the most crucial consumer safety decision in electronics industry history, as David confronted overwhelming evidence that required immediate action regardless of financial consequences or competitive implications that could affect Teknova's market position. Dr. Sarah Martinez had been investigating unusual incident reports from fire departments when her forensic analysis revealed alarming patterns of house fires and device explosions that correlated directly with Phoenix smartphone usage, indicating systematic safety failures rather than user error or environmental factors, affecting device performance and consumer safety. The safety investigation had identified specific failure modes in Phoenix battery systems, while laboratory analysis of fire-damaged devices confirmed that the incidents were not isolated malfunctions, but systematic design defects that created predictable fire and explosion hazards for consumers who used devices according to manufacturer instructions and safety guidelines. The battery failure patterns indicate fundamental design flaws that create thermal runaway conditions during normal charging and operation, Sarah explained to her senior safety team while reviewing comprehensive forensic analysis that documented dangerous thermal events across multiple device models and manufacturing batches. Her investigation had revealed that Phoenix devices experienced catastrophic battery failures that generated sufficient heat to ignite surrounding materials, while toxic gas emissions created additional hazards for families whose homes had become fire scenes due to devices that were supposed to be safe and reliable. The failure analysis included laboratory testing that reproduced thermal runaway events, while demonstrating that standard charging procedures could trigger battery explosions within 30 minutes of normal use, creating immediate dangers for consumers who had no warning of impending device failure and fire risk. Sarah's fire investigation had identified multiple house fires that had been directly caused by Phoenix devices, while forensic evidence revealed burn patterns and chemical residues that confirmed device batteries as ignition sources for fires that had destroyed homes and endangered families. We have documented evidence of at least 12 house fires directly caused by Phoenix devices, including 3 fatalities and multiple serious injuries from smoke inhalation and burns, Sarah told her investigation team while preparing emergency safety reports for David and federal consumer protection authorities. The fire documentation included detailed incident reports and forensic analysis that established clear causal relationships between device failures and property destruction, while demonstrating that Phoenix devices were systematically failing to protect consumers from thermal hazards, despite comprehensive safety testing and regulatory approval. Fire Chief Jennifer Walsh from the San Jose Fire Department had contacted Sarah directly after investigating multiple residential fires where Phoenix devices had been identified as ignition sources, while first responders had documented explosion evidence and thermal damage patterns consistent with lithium battery failures. Dr. Martinez, we've responded to 8 house fires this month caused by your devices exploding during charging, Chief Walsh reported during their urgent consultation. 3 people died in their sleep from smoke inhalation, including 2 children whose families trusted Teknova's safety reputation. The fire department reports included incident photographs and witness statements that documented device explosions and rapid fire spread, while emergency response records revealed the sudden nature of failures that gave families minimal time to escape burning homes that had been destroyed by trusted consumer electronics. Sarah's investigation expanded to include battery chemistry analysis that confirmed systematic use of substandard materials, while manufacturing quality control revealed unauthorized substitutions of inferior components that created thermal instability and fire hazards under normal operating conditions. The laboratory analysis included chemical testing that identified prohibited materials and manufacturing defects, while demonstrating that cost reduction measures had compromised battery safety systems that were essential for preventing thermal runaway and protecting consumers from fire and explosion hazards. But Sarah's most disturbing discovery was evidence that Marcus Thompson had been orchestrating the safety compromises while coordinating with Chinese manufacturers and intelligence services that sought to destroy American electronics industry reputation through systematic consumer endangerment and safety scandals. The investigation revealed that Marcus had been directing manufacturing personnel to implement dangerous cost reduction procedures while concealing safety test failures from regulatory oversight and consumer protection systems that should have detected thermal hazards before devices reached consumer markets. Marcus has been systematically compromising battery safety while coordinating with foreign entities that benefit from American electronics industry destruction, Sarah explained to her security-cleared deputy while documenting evidence of systematic betrayal and international conspiracy targeting consumer safety. The evidence included communication records where Marcus had received technical specifications for dangerous manufacturing shortcuts from Chinese electronics companies, while coordinating with intelligence operatives who provided strategic guidance for maximizing damage to American technology companies and consumer confidence. Sarah's investigation also uncovered financial transactions that suggested Marcus had been receiving substantial payments from Chinese manufacturers and investment funds that could profit from Teknova's potential collapse, while American electronics industry reputation suffered permanent damage from consumer safety scandals. This appears to be systematic economic warfare designed to eliminate American electronics manufacturing while transferring market share and consumer trust to Chinese competitors, Sarah realized, while analyzing the scope of foreign interference and national security implications affecting consumer safety and technological sovereignty. The scope of Marcus's betrayal extended beyond individual company sabotage to include broader attacks on American technology leadership that could affect global competitiveness and consumer confidence, while serving Chinese government objectives that sought market dominance through criminal interference rather than legitimate innovation. Sarah's discovery of the international conspiracy created immediate personal danger, as her investigation threatened to expose criminal activities that had generated substantial profits while endangering thousands of families and threatening Teknova's survival as an independent American technology company. Her decision to contact David directly through secure communication systems reflected understanding that Marcus's position and influence might enable him to suppress safety reports and continue endangering consumers while protecting his criminal associates and foreign intelligence contacts. The urgent encrypted message that Sarah sent to David's personal secure device was designed to bypass corporate communication systems that Marcus might be monitoring, while ensuring that critical safety information reached company leadership despite attempts at concealment and ongoing consumer endangerment. David, we have confirmed systematic Phoenix battery defects causing house fires and deaths. Marcus has been coordinating with Chinese manufacturers to introduce dangerous components. 12 fires, 3 deaths including children. 4 million devices at risk. Complete inventory destruction required immediately. Consumer lives at stake. The message crystallized the crisis that would force David to choose between Teknova's financial survival and his moral obligations to consumer safety, while confronting the reality that trusted executives had been systematically betraying the company's mission and endangering innocent families for foreign competitive advantage and personal profit. David's emergency meeting with Sarah took place in a secure conference room at 5 a.m., where military-grade signal blocking and advanced encryption systems ensured that their conversation could not be intercepted by foreign intelligence services or surveillance systems that might be compromising Teknova's internal communications and safety oversight processes. Sarah, show me everything you've discovered about these battery failures and Marcus's coordination with foreign manufacturers, David demanded, while reviewing comprehensive safety reports that documented the systematic nature of device fires and the criminal conspiracy that had endangered families while serving foreign competitive interests and intelligence objectives. Sarah's presentation included forensic analyses, fire investigation reports, laboratory testing results, and intelligence assessments that established clear evidence of deliberate safety compromises while documenting systematic concealment that had prevented early detection and consumer protection measures that could have saved lives. The battery defects affect Phoenix devices across all production lines, with thermal failures that cause house fires and explosions during normal charging, Sarah explained, while displaying fire scene photographs and laboratory data. Marcus has been coordinating with Shenzhen Electronics and Chinese intelligence services to introduce substandard battery components. The evidence included over 4 million potentially dangerous devices throughout Teknova's global distribution network, with forensic analysis confirming that identical safety defects were present across different retail locations and international markets that indicated systematic sabotage rather than isolated manufacturing problems. David's engineering background enabled him to understand the technical significance of Sarah's findings, while his role as CEO forced him to consider the financial implications of destroying $200 million in finished inventory during the critical holiday sales period that generated annual revenue for continued operations and innovation. Sarah, if we destroy all Phoenix inventory immediately, Teknova will lose $200 million in finished products while facing unlimited liability for house fires and potential bankruptcy that could eliminate 75,000 jobs, David said, while struggling with competing obligations to shareholders and consumer safety. The financial analysis included not just inventory losses, but also potential legal settlements for property damage and wrongful death claims, regulatory penalties, recall costs, and market share destruction that could bankrupt Teknova, while ending 40 years of family commitment to technological innovation and consumer protection. But Sarah's response focused on immediate moral obligations that transcended financial considerations, while emphasizing that continued device sales would result in additional house fires and deaths among families who trusted Teknova's reputation for safety and quality that had distinguished the company throughout its operational history. David, every hour we delay inventory destruction means more dangerous devices reach consumers who will face house fires and potential death, Sarah replied, while displaying fire scene photographs and death certificates of fire victims. These are preventable tragedies that violate everything your family built this company to achieve. The fire documentation included photographs of destroyed homes and families who had lost everything to fires caused by devices they had trusted for communication and productivity, while emergency response records documented the rapid spread of fires that had given victims minimal time to escape burning buildings. David's examination of individual fire reports provided human context for statistical data, while demonstrating that device failure victims were not abstract safety statistics, but real families whose lives had been destroyed by electronic devices that were supposed to enhance their daily activities and connectivity. Show me the evidence about Marcus's coordination with Chinese manufacturers and intelligence services, David requested, while preparing to confront betrayal by someone he had trusted with engineering operations and consumer safety that formed the foundation of Teknova's reputation and mission. Sarah's intelligence analysis revealed systematic coordination with foreign entities that included technical specifications, manufacturing procedures, and strategic guidance that suggested comprehensive conspiracy designed to destroy American electronics industry reputation while benefiting Chinese manufacturers and intelligence objectives. Marcus has been receiving over $12 million from Shenzhen Electronics and Beijing intelligence services while providing detailed specifications for dangerous battery modifications that maximize fire risk, Sarah explained, while displaying financial records and communications that documented systematic betrayal and foreign interference. The financial transactions provided clear evidence of foreign influence operations, while demonstrating that Marcus's safety compromises were motivated by substantial monetary payments rather than engineering negligence or corporate pressure that could be explained through business considerations and competitive requirements. The communications with foreign intelligence services included encrypted messages that detailed Teknova's manufacturing processes and safety protocols, while providing competitive intelligence that could benefit Chinese electronics companies seeking to dominate American markets through criminal sabotage rather than legitimate innovation and quality improvement. This appears to be systematic economic warfare designed to eliminate American electronics manufacturing while transferring market share and consumer trust to Chinese competitors through deliberate consumer endangerment, Sarah continued, while displaying evidence of broader foreign operations targeting multiple American technology companies and manufacturing sectors. The scope of foreign interference extended beyond individual corporate sabotage to include national security threats that could affect American technological leadership and consumer safety while serving Chinese government objectives that sought to dominate global electronics markets through illegal interference and systematic consumer endangerment. David's realization that Marcus's betrayal constituted foreign intelligence operations rather than corporate crime increased the urgency of protective measures while highlighting the importance of immediate cooperation with federal law enforcement and national security agencies that could investigate international conspiracies and consumer endangerment. Sarah, we need to contact the FBI and Consumer Product Safety Commission immediately while implementing emergency inventory destruction and comprehensive consumer protection measures to ensure that family safety becomes our immediate priority, David decided while beginning the most difficult crisis management in electronics industry history. The decision to prioritize consumer safety over financial survival reflected the ethical standards that had guided Teknova throughout its 40-year history, while demonstrating technology leadership that valued human welfare over profit maximization and competitive positioning in global electronics markets. David's choice to destroy $200 million in inventory, despite devastating financial consequences, established moral leadership that would influence electronics industry standards, while demonstrating that ethical corporate governance could triumph over foreign interference and criminal sabotage that threatened consumer welfare and family safety. The emergency protocols that David implemented included immediate contact with federal authorities, consumer protection agencies, fire departments, and international partners who needed accurate information about device risks, while Teknova coordinated the most comprehensive product destruction in consumer electronics history. "We're going to protect families," David announced, while beginning implementation of destruction procedures that would cost hundreds of millions but prevent fires. Teknova will demonstrate that consumer safety remains our highest priority regardless of financial costs or foreign interference. The commitment to comprehensive transparency and consumer protection reflected family values and corporate mission that had guided Teknova's operations while establishing precedents for electronics industry accountability and ethical leadership that prioritized human welfare over financial considerations and competitive pressures threatening technological innovation. The Teknova warehouse complex stretched across 60 acres of industrial space, filled with shipping containers and pallets of Phoenix smartphones and tablets that represented 14 months of manufacturing effort and technological innovation that would never reach consumers due to catastrophic safety defects that threatened lives. David stood before the specialized industrial furnaces that had been brought in overnight, watching as teams of environmental safety specialists in protective equipment began the systematic destruction of 4 million electronic devices that could have generated $200 million in holiday revenue, while potentially causing hundreds of house fires. The destruction process will require 96 hours of continuous high-temperature incineration, while hazardous materials teams monitor toxic emissions from lithium batteries and electronic components, explained Environmental Protection Agency Coordinator Dr. Jennifer Walsh, while overseeing the largest consumer electronics destruction in federal safety history. The incineration procedures included advanced filtration systems designed to neutralize toxic emissions from burning lithium batteries while preventing environmental contamination that could affect surrounding communities, requiring coordination between federal environmental agencies and local emergency response teams, specializing in hazardous materials management. David's presence during the destruction process demonstrated personal accountability while providing visible leadership during the most painful decision in Teknova's history, as each incinerated device represented lost innovation and financial devastation for the company his family had built over 4 decades of technological advancement. The emotional impact on Teknova employees was evident as engineers and designers watched their technological achievements being systematically destroyed, while understanding that consumer safety required eliminating products that could cause house fires and deaths among innocent families who trusted electronic devices for communication and productivity. This is the most difficult day in Teknova's history, but it's also our most important day, David addressed his assembled workforce while explaining the safety discoveries and the moral imperative that required choosing consumer protection over corporate survival and financial considerations. The employee meeting included comprehensive explanation of the foreign sabotage and criminal conspiracy that had endangered families while betraying the trust that consumers placed in Teknova's commitment to safety and quality that had defined the company's mission and technological leadership. Engineering supervisor Jennifer Kim, who had worked at Teknova for 18 years, expressed both heartbreak and pride in David's decision while acknowledging that protecting consumers required sacrifice that demonstrated the company's authentic commitment to its founding values and ethical mission. Mr. Kim, watching our innovative devices being destroyed breaks our hearts, but knowing we're protecting families makes us proud to work for Teknova, Jennifer stated, while representing engineers who supported the difficult decision despite personal financial consequences and professional disappointment. The workforce support for inventory destruction demonstrated the deep cultural commitment to consumer safety that had been cultivated throughout Teknova's history, while distinguishing the company from competitors who might prioritize financial considerations over moral obligations and family welfare. International news media covered the destruction process as unprecedented corporate accountability, while highlighting the contrast between American companies that prioritized consumer safety and foreign manufacturers who had deliberately introduced dangerous components to damage competitors and endanger families. Teknova's willingness to destroy $200 million in inventory demonstrates corporate leadership that prioritizes consumer welfare over profit, reported BBC international correspondent, while documenting the systematic incineration process and environmental safety measures. The media coverage generated global discussion about corporate responsibility and consumer safety, while establishing Teknova as a model for ethical business practices that protected family welfare despite devastating financial costs and competitive disadvantages in global electronics markets. Federal agencies coordinated comprehensive investigation and evidence collection, while forensic teams analyzed destroyed devices to document safety defects and gather intelligence about foreign manufacturing sabotage that threatened American consumer safety and international trade relationships. The systematic nature of safety defects provides clear evidence of deliberate sabotage designed to damage American manufacturing while endangering families, explained FBI Electronics Crime Division investigator Agent Jennifer Martinez, while overseeing federal evidence collection and foreign intelligence assessment. The federal investigation expanded beyond Teknova to include broader examination of foreign interference with American consumer electronics safety, while assessing national security implications of systematic sabotage campaigns targeting families and consumer confidence in American technology. Consumer protection organizations praised David's decision while advocating for enhanced safety standards and corporate accountability measures that would prevent similar incidents through improved foreign supplier oversight and manufacturing security protocols that protected families from dangerous products. Teknova's response sets a new standard for corporate responsibility while demonstrating that American companies can prioritize consumer safety over financial considerations, stated Electronics Consumer Alliance Director Dr. Robert Chen, while supporting legislative reforms and industry accountability measures. The consumer advocacy support provided political momentum for regulatory reforms, while establishing Teknova's decision as a template for corporate accountability and consumer protection that influenced industry standards and legislative priorities affecting electronic safety and family welfare. Fire departments and emergency response organizations recognized Teknova's prevention of mass fire incidents while advocating for enhanced electronic safety standards and international cooperation to prevent foreign sabotage of American consumer products designed for family use. Teknova's immediate response prevented a fire safety catastrophe while demonstrating corporate leadership that protected vulnerable families from foreign attacks on American product safety, testified International Association of Fire Chiefs representative Captain Patricia Williams during congressional hearings. The emergency response support reinforced the public safety significance of David's decision, while providing expert validation that inventory destruction had prevented widespread house fires and potential deaths among families who trusted electronic devices for daily communication and productivity. Technology industry organizations supported Technova's ethical leadership while organizing collective action against foreign interference and advocating for enhanced security measures that would protect American electronics manufacturing from systematic sabotage and consumer endangerment. The industry support reflected broad recognition that David's decision represented fundamental moral courage while protecting American families from foreign attacks that used consumer electronics as weapons against household safety and family welfare. Environmental organizations monitored the destruction process while ensuring that incineration procedures met safety standards and prevented toxic emissions that could affect surrounding communities during the largest electronics disposal in environmental safety history. Technova's environmental responsibility during product destruction demonstrates comprehensive commitment to public safety while preventing toxic contamination of communities and ecosystems, reported Environmental Defense Fund Coordinator Dr. Michael Rodriguez while overseeing air quality monitoring. The environmental oversight ensured that consumer protection measures did not create secondary public health risks, while demonstrating Technova's commitment to comprehensive safety that protected both families and communities during emergency response procedures and hazardous materials disposal. As David coordinated the systematic destruction of dangerous inventory while working with federal agencies and safety organizations, the human consequences of Marcus Thompson's criminal sabotage became devastatingly clear through testimonies from families whose homes had been destroyed and lives forever changed by devices they had trusted for communication and productivity. The Santa Clara Valley Medical Center burn unit served as the primary treatment facility for fire victims whose injuries had been caused by Phoenix device explosions, where specialized medical teams worked around the clock to provide emergency care and long-term rehabilitation for patients whose lives had been shattered by preventable fires. Dr. Jennifer Walsh led the medical response team while documenting the physical and psychological impact of house fires in families who had been injured by electronic devices they had trusted for daily communication and entertainment, creating comprehensive medical records that would guide treatment planning and recovery support. The burn injuries and smoke inhalation cases require extensive medical intervention and psychological support to address both physical trauma and emotional devastation from losing homes and possessions to preventable fires, Dr. Walsh explained during emergency medical conferences that coordinated care for fire victims. The medical treatment included advanced burn therapy and respiratory support, while family counseling services addressed the emotional trauma and financial devastation faced by families whose homes had been destroyed by electronic devices they had purchased for communication and productivity enhancement. Maria Santos sat in the hospital family room holding medical records, documenting her 8-year-old daughter Emma's severe burns and smoke inhalation injuries that had occurred when their Phoenix tablet exploded while charging in Emma's bedroom, causing a house fire that had destroyed their family home. Mr. Kim, your device was supposed to help my daughter learn and communicate, but instead it nearly killed her and destroyed our family home, Maria said, while displaying medical charts that documented burn injuries and respiratory damage that would require years of specialized medical care and rehabilitation. The documentation of childhood trauma provided concrete evidence of human suffering that extended far beyond immediate medical treatment to include long-term rehabilitation needs and family support that would be required throughout Emma's recovery and development. David's response acknowledged corporate responsibility while explaining the criminal conspiracy and foreign sabotage that had betrayed families' trust while endangering children through systematic safety compromises designed to damage American electronics manufacturing and consumer confidence. Mrs. Santos Technova accepts full responsibility for Emma's injuries while recognizing that foreign criminals deliberately attacked your family and other American families to damage our company and industry, David replied, while announcing comprehensive medical support and family assistance programs. The acknowledgement of corporate responsibility, while explaining foreign interference, demonstrated David's commitment to transparency and family support, while distinguishing legitimate American manufacturing from criminal sabotage and foreign attacks targeting families and consumer safety. Robert Chen, whose elderly parents had died in a house fire caused by their Phoenix smartphone exploding during overnight charging, demanded justice for families whose loved ones had been killed by devices that were supposed to enhance communication and safety. "My parents trusted Teknova technology because they believed in American quality and safety," Robert testified while presenting death certificates and fire investigation reports that documented preventable deaths caused by systematic safety failures and foreign sabotage. The death documentation included autopsy reports and fire investigation findings, while demonstrating that elderly victims had been unable to escape rapidly spreading fires that had been caused by electronic devices they had trusted for emergency communication and family contact. David's announcement of comprehensive victim support programs demonstrated Teknova's commitment to ongoing family assistance while establishing industry precedents for corporate accountability that extended beyond immediate financial compensation to include long-term care and emotional support. Teknova will establish a $1 billion victim assistance fund with no caps on individual support, while providing comprehensive medical coverage and family services for all fire victims and their families, David announced, while outlining victim support programs that exceeded legal requirements and industry standards. The victim assistance announcement represented unprecedented electronics industry accountability, while demonstrating that Teknova valued family welfare and community support over financial protection and legal liability minimization that typically characterized corporate crisis responses. International families affected by Phoenix device fires revealed the worldwide scope of foreign sabotage, while confirming that criminal safety compromises had endangered families across multiple countries and cultures who had trusted American electronics for communication and productivity enhancement. The London Victim Assistance Centre included support for British families whose homes had been destroyed by Phoenix devices purchased through international retailers, while Teknova's coordination with European authorities provided enhanced medical care and family support addressing international fire incidents. Fire departments and burn treatment centers worldwide reported increased cases of electronics-related house fires, while emergency response specialists documented fire patterns that confirmed Phoenix devices as ignition sources, requiring immediate medical intervention and family displacement services. Emergency departments globally are treating fire victims injured by Teknova devices, while fire investigation teams coordinate evidence collection and victim support that demonstrates the international scope of foreign sabotage, reported International Fire Safety Organization Coordinator Dr. Patricia Kim. The international medical response demonstrated the global scope of family endangerment, while confirming that foreign sabotage had threatened families worldwide through systematic safety compromises in American electronics that families had trusted for daily communication and emergency contact. Insurance companies documented unprecedented claims for house fires and property destruction, while establishing special assistance programs for families whose homes had been destroyed by electronic devices that had been certified as safe through comprehensive testing and regulatory approval. Property damage claims from electronics fires have increased exponentially, while insurance investigators confirm systematic device failures that indicate deliberate sabotage rather than normal product liability, explained National Insurance Association representative Dr. Lisa Rodriguez. The insurance impact assessment provided financial documentation of family devastation, while demonstrating that foreign sabotage had created permanent consequences for families whose homes and possessions had been destroyed by electronic devices they had trusted for communication and productivity. Community support organizations established emergency assistance programs, while coordinating with Teknova to provide temporary housing and essential services for families whose homes had been destroyed by device fires that had eliminated years of personal possessions and family memories. Psychological support services addressed family trauma and childhood anxiety, while helping fire victims cope with loss of homes and possessions that resulted from foreign attacks on American consumer safety and family welfare disguised as product defects. House fires caused by trusted electronic devices create unique psychological trauma that affects entire families and communities who lose trust in technology and safety standards, explained American Psychological Association Disaster Response Coordinator Dr. Michael Thompson. The psychological impact documentation revealed long-term consequences that extended beyond physical injuries and property damage to include emotional trauma and technology anxiety that would affect fire victims and their families throughout their recovery and future technology use. Teknova's decision to destroy $200 million in dangerous inventory created unprecedented financial challenges, as the combination of lost revenue, victim assistance costs, legal settlements, and stock market collapse threatened the company's survival while testing David's leadership and the organization's commitment to consumer welfare over financial considerations and competitive positioning. Chief Financial Officer Dr. Patricia Lee presented comprehensive financial analysis that documented total crisis costs exceeding $12 billion, while projecting recovery scenarios that would require fundamental restructuring and strategic partnerships to maintain operations and continue serving consumers worldwide. The immediate inventory destruction eliminates $200 million in holiday revenue, while victim assistance commitments total $1 billion for comprehensive medical care and family support, Lee explained, while displaying financial projections that showed potential bankruptcy without emergency restructuring and alternative funding sources. The financial crisis was compounded by legal liability that could exceed $8 billion, while regulatory penalties, recall costs, and stock market losses created additional exposure that threatened Teknova's remaining assets and operational capabilities. Beyond direct financial losses, Teknova faced stock market collapse as share prices declined by 68% following safety crisis disclosure, while institutional investors and pension funds evaluated the company's long-term viability following foreign sabotage and systematic consumer endangerment. Stock market reactions reflect uncertainty about our operational recovery and liability exposure following foreign interference and consumer safety violations, Lee reported, while displaying trading data and analyst projections that showed investor concern about Teknova's survival prospects. The market collapse eliminated over $24 billion in shareholder value while affecting retirement accounts and technology sector investments that had relied on Teknova's historical performance and reputation for innovation and safety in consumer electronics. International financial markets showed similar patterns of electronic sector concern as global investors struggled to evaluate American technology security while considering broader implications for consumer safety and foreign interference with American manufacturing and technology leadership. The Federal Reserve and Treasury Department provided confidential consultations about Teknova's systemic importance while recognizing the company's role in American technology innovation and manufacturing that justified potential government support and national security assistance programs. Federal officials understand that Teknova's collapse would eliminate critical technology capabilities and electronics innovation that serves American technological leadership and economic competitiveness, explained Department of Commerce consultant Dr. Michael Rodriguez during confidential briefings about potential government intervention. The national security implications of Teknova's survival generated bipartisan political support for technology sector protection and regulatory reforms that would defend American electronics companies from foreign interference while ensuring that consumer safety remained the highest priority for technology development. Congressional leaders recognized that Teknova's destruction through foreign sabotage could eliminate American competitiveness in consumer electronics while benefiting Chinese companies that sought to dominate global markets through criminal interference rather than legitimate innovation and safety excellence. David's decision to prioritize consumer safety over financial protection demonstrated ethical leadership while generating political and regulatory support that helped offset crisis costs through emergency assistance programs and expedited recovery procedures for companies affected by foreign interference. The company's commitment to comprehensive victim assistance and transparent safety communication, attracted positive media coverage and consumer advocacy that accelerated recovery planning while distinguishing Teknova from competitors who had handled similar crises through legal minimization and cost reduction. Consumer surveys showed that Teknova's ethical crisis response had strengthened brand trust and purchase intentions among families who valued corporate accountability and safety commitment while supporting companies that prioritized consumer welfare during crisis situations. Consumer confidence and brand preference have increased significantly following our safety response, while technology advocates have expressed enhanced support for Teknova's protection standards, reported Marketing Director Dr. Jennifer Walsh, while presenting research that documented positive brand impact from family-focused crisis management. The counterintuitive improvement in consumer relationships reflected family appreciation for Teknova's safety commitment and comprehensive victim support, while contrasting with electronics industry practices that typically prioritized corporate interests over consumer welfare during safety incidents. International electronics partnerships offered technology sharing and manufacturing collaboration that could provide immediate capabilities, while David evaluated strategic alliances that would preserve Teknova's safety mission while accessing resources for enhanced security and market recovery. Emergency cost reduction measures included executive salary elimination and management compensation suspension, while maintaining employment and benefits for safety engineers and manufacturing workers whose contributions were essential for product redesign and enhanced safety protocols. We're protecting safety capabilities and innovation expertise, while executives bear personal financial responsibility for recovery costs, David announced, while implementing austerity measures that preserved Teknova's core competencies and workforce despite devastating financial pressures. The employment protection policies generated worker loyalty and public support, while demonstrating that crisis management could balance corporate survival with social responsibility and employee welfare that distinguished ethical leadership from pure financial optimization. Private equity firms specializing in technology offered emergency funding that could provide immediate financial relief while potentially requiring governance changes that might compromise Teknova's consumer-first mission and safety-focused culture that had enabled moral leadership during foreign interference. The funding discussions required careful evaluation of financial benefits against mission preservation, while ensuring that Teknova's commitment to consumer safety would continue under any new investment or partnership arrangements that might be necessary for survival and recovery. Venture capital firms offered acquisition proposals that could eliminate financial pressure, while potentially compromising the family ownership and ethical culture that had distinguished Teknova's operations and enabled the moral courage demonstrated during consumer safety crisis and foreign interference. Technology industry partnerships offered strategic alliances and resource sharing that could provide manufacturing capabilities, while David insisted on maintaining Teknova's safety standards and innovation culture that had distinguished the company throughout 4 decades of technological leadership and consumer protection. Marcus Thompson's arrest by federal agents occurred at Teknova headquarters while he was attempting to destroy engineering records and communication logs that documented his coordination with foreign intelligence services and systematic sabotage of American consumer electronic safety systems for Chinese competitive advantage and intelligence objectives. FBI Special Agent Jennifer Martinez announced criminal charges that included foreign agent activities, product tampering, conspiracy to commit murder, and consumer fraud, while documenting Marcus's collaboration with Chinese intelligence services and electronics manufacturers that sought to eliminate American technology leadership through systematic consumer endangerment. Marcus Thompson used his position at Teknova to systematically endanger American families while serving foreign intelligence objectives and receiving substantial financial payments for betraying consumer safety, Agent Martinez explained, while presenting evidence of criminal activities that had affected millions of consumers and threatened American technology leadership. The federal investigation revealed that Marcus's sabotage activities were part of broader Chinese intelligence operations targeting American technology infrastructure, while his coordination with Shenzhen Electronics represented systematic economic warfare against American consumer safety and technological sovereignty. The charges included conspiracy to commit murder, based on evidence that Marcus had deliberately created safety defects that caused deaths in house fires, while his knowledge of thermal hazards established criminal intent that warranted maximum penalties under federal murder and terrorism statutes. Evidence shows that Marcus Thompson knowingly created conditions that would cause house fires and deaths while serving foreign intelligence objectives and receiving over $12 million for betraying American families, Prosecutor Maria Santos announced, while presenting recorded communications that documented systematic consumer endangerment. The murder conspiracy charges reflected legal recognition that deliberate sabotage of consumer electronics constituted premeditated homicide, while Marcus's foreign coordination established international terrorism connections that justified enhanced penalties and counterintelligence measures. Product tampering charges documented Marcus's systematic modification of battery specifications and safety systems, while his creation of deliberate fire hazards had endangered millions of families through systematic compromise of safety systems and quality control procedures designed to protect consumer welfare. Technical analysis shows that Marcus Thompson deliberately introduced substandard battery components while suppressing safety testing that could have detected thermal hazards before devices reached families, explained FBI Consumer Electronics Crime Unit investigator Dr. Michael Chen while presenting forensic evidence of systematic manufacturing sabotage. The product tampering had involved sophisticated engineering techniques and safety system manipulation that required advanced technical knowledge, while Marcus's deliberate creation of fire hazards enabled foreign intelligence operations and market manipulation through coordinated attacks on American consumer safety. Foreign agent charges reflected evidence that Marcus had been recruited and directed by Chinese Ministry of State Security operatives who provided specific engineering requirements and strategic guidance, while coordinating his activities with broader campaigns to damage American technology companies and consumer confidence. Investigation reveals that Marcus Thompson was a directed agent of Chinese intelligence services operating under engineering cover to sabotage American electronics while transferring technology capabilities and market share to Chinese competitors, testified National Security Agency Technology Intelligence Analyst Dr. Patricia Williams during classified briefings. The foreign intelligence connection elevated Marcus's case from corporate crime to national security emergency, while demonstrating that consumer electronics sabotage constituted systematic warfare against American families and technology infrastructure that served both civilian and defense requirements. Securities fraud charges documented Marcus's systematic trading based on advanced knowledge of safety defects, while his coordination with Chinese investment funds had generated substantial illegal profits through short-selling strategies that bet against Technova's stock price during sabotage-induced crises. Financial analysis shows that Marcus Thompson and his foreign associates generated enormous profits by betting against Technova while deliberately creating safety defects that would destroy the company's reputation and market value, explained Securities and Exchange Commission investigator Dr. Lisa Rodriguez. Marcus's criminal trial attracted international attention as prosecutors presented evidence of systematic betrayal that had endangered American families while serving hostile foreign intelligence objectives and criminal financial conspiracies that threatened consumer safety and technology security. Victim impact statements from fire survivors and families provided emotional context for legal proceedings while demonstrating the human consequences of foreign interference and consumer endangerment that had caused preventable deaths and property destruction among families who trusted American technology. Maria Santos's testimony about her daughter Emma's burn injuries created powerful evidence of Marcus's criminal impact while establishing moral urgency that influenced jury deliberations and public understanding of foreign interference consequences and consumer safety implications. Marcus Thompson nearly killed my daughter and destroyed our family home for Chinese intelligence services and personal profit while betraying American families and technology safety, Maria testified, while presenting medical records and fire investigation reports that documented systematic sabotage consequences. Expert witnesses explained the technical and safety mechanisms of Marcus's crimes, while documenting how electronic sabotage could affect national security and American competitiveness in global technology markets that required trustworthy manufacturing and consumer protection. The jury deliberation lasted 49 hours before returning guilty verdicts on all charges, while recommending maximum sentences that reflected the severity of consumer endangerment and foreign interference with American technology infrastructure and family safety. The evidence was overwhelming and horrifying, explained jury foreman Dr. Robert Kim after the verdict. Marcus Thompson systematically betrayed consumer trust and American interests while causing preventable deaths and injuries for foreign intelligence objectives and personal profit. The conviction on all charges ensured that Marcus would face life imprisonment without possibility of parole, while comprehensive asset forfeiture would eliminate his criminal profits and provide additional resources for victim assistance and technology security improvements. Federal sentencing included life imprisonment and complete asset forfeiture, while related prosecutions targeted Marcus's criminal associates and foreign intelligence operatives who had participated in systematic campaigns to damage American technology companies and endanger consumers. Marcus Thompson's conviction and Teknova's ethical crisis response created lasting changes in electronics industry practices while establishing new standards for supply chain security, safety protocols, and international cooperation that protected consumer welfare and technology integrity from foreign interference and criminal sabotage. The Consumer Electronics Security Enhancement Act, passed with unanimous congressional support, incorporated lessons from Marcus's case while requiring enhanced background investigations, supply chain oversight, and comprehensive safety protocols for personnel and suppliers with access to consumer electronics manufacturing and safety systems. Teknova's experience demonstrates that electronics companies require sophisticated security measures and supply chain oversight to protect consumers from systematic sabotage and foreign interference, explained congressional sponsor Senator Patricia Williams, while outlining legislative requirements for industry security improvements. The legislation included mandatory reporting requirements for suspicious activities and foreign supplier relationships, while establishing federal oversight mechanisms that could detect safety compromises and foreign interference before products reached consumers and families. International electronics regulatory agencies adopted Teknova's enhanced security protocols as industry standards, while establishing information-sharing agreements that could detect foreign sabotage and safety compromises across national boundaries and manufacturing networks. The International Electrotechnical Commission and Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers incorporated Teknova's safety standards into global electronics regulations while recognizing that ethical crisis management could serve both consumer welfare and industry credibility in international markets. Academic institutions established research programs in electronic security and consumer protection, while incorporating Marcus's case into engineering and safety curricula that taught future professionals about threats to consumer welfare and technology integrity from hostile foreign activities. Stanford University and MIT created joint programs in electronic security while providing training for industry professionals who needed advanced capabilities for detecting and preventing foreign interference with consumer electronics and safety systems. Teknova became a model for electronics industry security while providing consulting services for other companies that needed enhanced counterintelligence capabilities and safety protocols that could protect against foreign sabotage and criminal interference with consumer products. David's leadership during the crisis had established his reputation as an electronics industry reformer, while his commitment to consumer safety over financial success influenced regulatory policies and industry standards worldwide that prioritized human welfare over profit maximization and competitive positioning. The victim assistance programs that Teknova had established exceeded industry standards while demonstrating corporate responsibility that influenced electronics industry expectations for consumer protection and family support during safety incidents and foreign interference. The Emma Santos Memorial Consumer Safety Foundation, established with family advocacy and Teknova's support, became a leading advocate for electronic security while providing research funding for detecting and preventing foreign interference and criminal sabotage threatening consumer safety and family welfare. Emma's recovery from her fire injuries was meaningful because it exposed foreign threats to American families while leading to enhanced electronic safety standards that protect other children, Maria Santos stated during the Foundation's annual conference, while recognizing Teknova's continued support for consumer safety research. The Foundation's consumer protection initiatives influenced electronic safety standards globally, while generating innovative approaches and security improvements that enhanced product protection and family safety from foreign interference and criminal sabotage threatening household security. Marcus's life imprisonment served as a deterrent to other potential electronics criminals, while his asset forfeiture provided additional resources for victim assistance programs and consumer safety research that protected American technology from hostile interference and competitive sabotage. The foreign intelligence operatives who had recruited Marcus faced comprehensive diplomatic and economic consequences, while international cooperation had disrupted similar operations targeting other American technology companies and consumer electronics manufacturers that served family welfare. Teknova's operational recovery exceeded projections as the company's enhanced security measures and ethical reputation attracted new retail partnerships and government contracts that provided competitive advantages and sustainable revenue models that offset inventory destruction losses. The company's new devices incorporating enhanced security protocols and safety features achieved accelerated regulatory approval, while international markets embraced Teknova's safety innovations and ethical standards that protected consumers and served global family welfare. Stock market recovery through strategic partnerships reflected confidence in Teknova's enhanced security measures and ethical leadership, while the company's valuation reached sustainable levels based on superior consumer protection and competitive advantages in secure electronics manufacturing. International electronics companies adopted Teknova's security protocols and ethical standards, while recognizing that consumer protection and technology credibility required comprehensive measures against foreign interference and criminal sabotage that threatened global electronics industry integrity. The transformation of electronics industry security and ethics represented lasting legacy from the foreign interference crisis, while demonstrating that individual courage and corporate responsibility could create positive changes that protected consumers and served family welfare through ethical leadership and comprehensive accountability. Epilogue: The legacy of technological courage. 5 years after the day David Kim made the agonizing decision to destroy $200 million in dangerous inventory to prevent house fires and protect families, his choice had transformed electronics industry standards while establishing new benchmarks for corporate responsibility and ethical leadership in consumer technology and family safety. Teknova had not only survived the financial devastation, but had emerged as the most trusted and secure electronics manufacturer in the world, with enhanced safety systems and security protocols that attracted global admiration and competitive advantages in markets where consumer protection and family welfare were paramount concerns. David's continued leadership as CEO, while promoting Sarah Martinez to Chief Technology and Safety Officer, reflected the company's commitment to safety excellence and security innovation that had distinguished Teknova's crisis response while preparing for future challenges in rapidly evolving global technology markets. Our experience with foreign interference and criminal sabotage made Teknova stronger and more committed to consumer safety than ever before, David announced during the company's annual innovation conference, while outlining strategic initiatives that leveraged enhanced security capabilities and ethical reputation for continued technological advancement. The enhanced security measures and safety technologies that Teknova had implemented exceeded regulatory requirements while establishing the company as a preferred choice for consumers and retailers who required superior family protection and resistance to foreign interference and criminal sabotage. Teknova's new product development had accelerated during the recovery period, as enhanced security measures protected intellectual property, while ethical reputation and government support facilitated retail partnerships that positioned the company for continued leadership in safe electronics manufacturing and consumer protection. The victim assistance programs had provided comprehensive support for over 3,000 affected families, while establishing permanent consumer safety monitoring systems that demonstrated corporate commitment to family welfare that transcended legal obligations and created lasting trust between Technova and global communities. Emma Santos Memorial Technology Safety Institute, established through family advocacy and Technova's support, had become a leading center for consumer electronic safety research while developing innovative approaches to device protection and foreign interference prevention that protected families worldwide. Emma's recovery from her fire injuries was meaningful because it led to enhanced electronic security standards that protect families and preserve trust in safe technology, Maria Santos reflected during the Institute's 5th anniversary celebration while acknowledging Technova's continued support for consumer safety research. The Research Institute's innovations had influenced electronic safety standards globally, while generating technological breakthroughs and security improvements that enhanced device protection and family safety from foreign interference and criminal sabotage threatening household security and consumer welfare. Marcus Thompson's continued imprisonment had served as a permanent deterrent to electronics crime, while his case established legal precedents for prosecuting foreign interference and criminal sabotage that threatened American technology infrastructure and consumer safety systems. The enhanced federal capabilities for detecting electronics crime and foreign interference had prevented numerous additional cases, while demonstrating that comprehensive security measures and industry cooperation could effectively protect consumer technology from hostile threats and criminal activities. Technova's financial performance had reached record levels, while the company's market capitalization exceeded pre-crisis values, reflecting consumer confidence in enhanced security measures and ethical leadership that provided sustainable competitive advantages and reduced safety risks. The Federal Communications Commission had established Technova as a model for industry-government cooperation in electronic security, while the company's innovations had influenced safety regulations and threat detection capabilities throughout American technology manufacturing and consumer protection. International technology markets had embraced Technova's security standards and ethical leadership, while global regulatory agencies adopted the company's safety protocols as international standards for protecting consumers and electronics infrastructure from foreign interference and criminal sabotage. The Consumer Electronic Security Enhancement Act had prevented similar crises while establishing comprehensive regulatory frameworks and security requirements that protected American technology leadership from foreign interference and ensured that consumer safety remained the highest priority for electronics development. David's personal transformation from crisis management to industry leadership had established him as a respected voice for technology ethics, while his family's 3-generation commitment to consumer welfare had been validated through ethical crisis response and continued innovation in secure electronics manufacturing. The security cameras that had recorded David's agonizing decision to destroy dangerous inventory had captured a defining moment of consumer safety leadership while documenting the personal courage required to prioritize family welfare over financial success and competitive positioning. Technova's emergence from the worst electronics crisis in history as an industry leader in safety and ethics had proven that moral courage and comprehensive consumer protection could triumph over foreign interference while creating lasting improvements in technology safety and family trust. Most importantly, the story reinforced fundamental truths about corporate responsibility and the consequences of betraying consumer trust, while demonstrating that ethical leadership could generate sustainable competitive advantages and societal benefits that far exceeded temporary financial costs and market disruption. The day David destroyed $200 million to protect families had become legendary in business ethics education and consumer safety advocacy, while serving as proof that individual courage and corporate responsibility could protect vulnerable populations and serve family welfare through moral leadership and comprehensive accountability. Their legacy continued to influence technology development and consumer protection, while inspiring industry professionals and business leaders who understood that family welfare required vigilance against foreign interference and unwavering commitment to ethical standards that protected consumer safety over financial gain and competitive advantage. If this story touched you, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tell us in the comments what part resonated most with you. Until next time.